plaintiff, Cherie Stone Zachary, was married to the defendant for 18 years, and they had 3 children. Cherie claims she believes the defendant started cheating 2 years into the marriage. And the final straw was when the defendant got involved in a couple of pyramid schemes. Cherie is suing her ex for back child support. Defendant Keyshawn Zachary says all of the problems in their marriage were a result of money. Keyshawn says he never had enough money to make Cherie happy, and since their divorce, she's been dating more prominent men. Keyshawn insists child support is being garnished from his paycheck.
Start with you.
The defendant and I were married for 18 years, and I'd say it was a decent marriage. It was a good marriage. I think people considered us the perfect couple. We have 3 beautiful kids. I think within the marriage, Keyshawn started to see other women on jobs and flirt with my sisters and make sexual innuendos with my niece. And I think that took a downward spiral.
When did he start that?
Maybe, well, from what I know, maybe 2-3 years into the marriage.
2 years after getting married, he started doing all these things?
Well, with my sisters, it was probably later on, but with women on the jobs.
And you found that out?
Yeah, in one instance, I did see him with a woman out to lunch.
You forgave him, obviously? And
Yeah, the most important thing for me was keeping my kids' family together.
what caused you all to break up? Was there a defining incident?
Within 18 years, I think intimacy levels do diminish. And I think the final straw for me was he had got involved in a couple of pyramid schemes. And he started taking time and money away from the family. So ultimately, we lost our house. You know, and within this time, I was taking care of kids. I was back in school and taking care of a sick mother who eventually passed away.
Okay. You give me some background, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, you know, I am Superman. I am a super dad. I was a super
Superman
husband.
was used in Viagra. Go ahead. She said you ain't nothing without some Viagra. She said you ain't about nothing if you ain't got your blue pill.
Your Honor, you're absolutely right. But what I did find out being Superman that I was dealing with kryptonite. What I'm saying, Your Honor, is, you know, through our marriage, and again, it was a nice marriage. We have beautiful kids. Everything came down to money, you know, and when the money ran out, everything came down to money. And, you know, with me, you know,
How did the money run? Well, how did your financial status change? What happened?
Well, financial status changed. Superman was giving kryptonite the money, and kryptonite was putting all the money in the bank.
After how many years?
All the 20. Not until I became independent. And independent is hard, Your Honor.
Your income changed at one point.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that led to the downfall or the downward spiral.
Well, that led to the downward spiral. And also, you know, I realized I had some x-ray vision, and I actually was able to see that she was cheating. And there was a couple of things I found out that she lied about and, you know, later on confessed to. But, you know, now she's, you know, through the divorce, and I'm happy for her, you know, now she's dating men that are more prominent, you know, firefighters, you know, and men that have their own businesses, you know, so you know, kryptonite is working in other arenas. And, you know, it's all about the money. I love my kids. I do everything for my kids. I just drove down to give my kid money for a yearbook. I got there about 12:31 a.m. in the morning and asked my ex if I could use the restroom.
How far away do you live?
I live about 2-hour drive, it could be.
And you asked to use the restroom?
I asked her if I could use the restroom, and she said, my house is sleeping. And I said, I didn't know I was going to make a lot of noise using the restroom, you know, because I drove this far to give my kid the money that he wanted, and I made sure I did that for him, to find out the next day that the yearbooks weren't even on sale. So, but my son, I know he wanted it, and I was going to do the fatherly thing and show up for him.
All right, and there wasn't a station around?
Oh, I had to go to the station, absolutely, yes.
Your Honor.
If you didn't pay your child support, like she say, you'd have to go to the station for sure.
If he had came right after work and made an effort to get there at a decent time, instead of 1:30 in the morning to keep calling and waking me up, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get my kids up ready for school. He keeps calling me, okay, I'm on my way. I'm almost there. I have to get some sleep at some point. So no, yes, my house was sleeping.
All right. Tell me about the child support. How does he owe you?
In December 2012, after I filed for divorce, Mr. Zachary and I, we came up with an agreement. We signed a declaration I filed with my divorce case, and it was a notarized agreement that we agreed to for child support.
And the court approved it?
Yes, he did.
All
It's
right.
also in the order of the divorce
Because I
decree.
always tell people you can't make a side agreement without court approval. You can
No, I
agree,
made sure that
but you have to get the court to approve. Otherwise, it's just an agreement between the two parties, and the court does not have to honor that agreement. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Go ahead.
Yes, they honored it. And because of our financial situation, we stayed in the same home until June of 2015, where the home had to be sold, so that's when we separated. And since then, Mr. Zachary has not paid any full
What was the order?
$2,100 a month for 3 kids.
$2,100? $700 per child?
The way it's broken down, it was broken down in increments for each child. I think my oldest son was the least amount, and it went higher
It
for
goes
each
by
child.
your income, so you must
Yeah.
have a pretty hefty income.
According to her, because she made all the documents, but that was the money.
You signed the document?
Absolutely under duress. The day I signed
What
the document.
duress?
The duress was I wanted to save my marriage, Your Honor, and she.
You
did
don't
not-
pay child support if you're married. You're talking about save your marriage. When you got to pay child support, your marriage is over.
Absolutely.
There was no duress. We went to a notary. We met with the lady. He signed it under no duress.
You signed it.
I think within the marriage, Keyshawn started to see other women on jobs and flirt with my sisters and make sexual innuendos with my niece. And I think that took a downward spiral,
When did he start that?
maybe 2-3 years into the marriage.
Plaintiff Cherie Stone Zachary was married to the defendant, and she believes he started cheating on her 2 years into the marriage.
How much have you paid?
Well, prior to that, Your Honor, I was actually paying her outside of the courts, and the courts eventually intervened when she realized that she wasn't getting 100% of my checks, which is what my ex-wife here wants. She doesn't want me to live at all. She doesn't want.
I want you to be responsible to your kids.
I've been responsible. I've given my life to my kids, and I've given my paycheck. A life works to you.
And how much has he paid?
They're saying he owes back child support of $22,671.49.
Okay, so you have an order there where they've determined how
Yes.
much he is in arrearage. All right, $22,000. Has he paid any? I mean, how has he been paying since?
He paid sporadically. He was unemployed for a while, and even with unemployment, he gets the maximum amount because of his salary. So that approximately for 6 weeks or so, he probably got about $4,000. He gave me a total of $350. Even with me following up with Department of Child Support Services, dealing with his employer has been horrible too, because first they said, oh, well, our system made a mistake, so we didn't take out the right amount. They still haven't corrected it. I don't know how long it takes for them to correct their system, but I know if they were paying him more than they should, they would have corrected it a long time ago. So I'm still only
Sir,
getting
what do you say to this?
$444.
Well,
They have you down for $22,000.
Well, you have in your possession, Your Honor, what I have been paying. I just recently, as I started this new job, immediately started getting wage garnishments from it. Prior to my unemployment, I was actually still giving her payments. Even when I was unemployed, I actually was giving her money from my previous employer. When I was working there, she would come to my job, demand my check. I would give her the check one time.
When?
Sir, we're talking about since December when you got the child support order. I see why you agreed to this.
So
You're talking in circles and thinking in circles, sir. Let's talk about what occurred since the time you signed to agree to pay $700 per child, $2,100 a month. So what has happened since then?
I got off of $60,000 salary, and I was on unemployment for a portion of that time. January of 2015, I was on unemployment.
All right. And how long were you unemployed?
For about 3 months, and then I got another position.
Okay.
And then that position laid me off, and I'm not quite sure. He said it wasn't enough work, but I think it was enough of her coming to my job, getting my
Now,
paycheck.
I don't want to hear that. Now, how much do you believe you've paid?
I believe I paid probably somewhere to the tune of about $7,200.
So he's not a deadbeat.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So,
I
but
never
this
set
is
you
a
up.
lot of money to owe. And I suggest, I don't want to take food out your mouth, ma'am, but I want to be fair. I suggest you go and try and get a modification.
Okay, I will
of
work
your
on that.
child support. And you might even want to spend a little money on a lawyer if they don't modify it just based on your going down to child support services, showing your income and making your plea.
Thank you, God.
In the meantime, I'm going to have to grant her judgment, enforce what the child support services has determined you owe in arrearage. And the maximum I can give you, of course, this is small claims, is $5,000. And I guess she wants that enforced at small claims because she assumes she can't get $22,000 out of you anytime soon. She need her money now.
Your Honor, I just like to show you a picture of my kids.
Let's
My
see.
son is going off to college this year to Loyola Marymount University. He's got a full scholarship. I just want to let you know I haven't missed a beat with my
Ooh,
kids.
they're handsome kids.
Thank you.
And did the child support order or the divorce order require him to pay through college?
No, I haven't. They
Okay.
haven't
Well,
required.
you should get a
him to.
modification asking for that.
I have been so lenient with Mr. Zachary. He should have been paying half of both of my kids.
You've been
I
too
have-
lenient. You make this man pay $2,100 a month.
Yes.
That ain't
But
for
he hasn't
3
paid
children.
it.
That ain't
What she
well,
done
you,
with-
made, you had him. You duped him
I'll
into
take
signing
care-
that order.
Hey, Your Honor, kryptonite. I've taken care of her all her life.
Stop talking silly. That's what your problem is. You talk
Thank
silly,
you,
that
Your
must
Honor.
mean you think silly. You better pay more attention to your
Irresponsible
business.
silliness.
Have a good day. Judging for the plaintiff.
Thank you. Irresponsible silliness.
Hey,
Exactly.
I am Superman, and don't forget it. You are still kryptonite.
You can be your
regardless.
Superman. Have at it.
Best thing
Whatever.
you ever lost was me.
You're a joke within yourself.
I'm not a joke. I'm the greatest ever.
Thank you. He's still their dad. All I want him to do is be a responsible father. That's all,
All I
need.
want to do is take care of my kids, make sure my kids have a great life.
And just stay out of my personal life, and we're all good.
Don't put me in your personal life, and I won't have to be.
Not.
Yeah, you are all the time. I was just at your house rubbing your back not too long ago. That's
Oh, 'cause
how
I was
I'm in your
sick.
personal
Thank
life.
you. I appreciate
Yes,
it. Thank you.
exactly. Kryptonite that always draws you back in.